people are emboldened because they know that our justice system is in their favor.
Yeah.
It favors criminals, and it's an unfortunate truth.
Yeah, people aren't getting softer; they're getting meaner.
Yeah.
It's like evil is getting more bold as goodness rises.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Maverick Entrepreneur podcast, where business success meets personal purpose. Here we empower entrepreneurs to strike that perfect balance between massive growth and unwavering values. Dive deep into strategies, inspirations, and stories that ensure you set your foundation in faith and don't compromise your family on your ascent to the top.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Maverick Entrepreneur. And it's been a while because now I have a full-grown beard, which my wife does not love, but it will grow on you like a good fungus. So stay tuned. It's not going anywhere. But with me, I have a special guest, the one and only Perry Yee, who's a legend, who I have been trying to track down for a very long time, but is here today. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, you say that. Well, we'll see. We'll see. No, for just to get a little background of, I'm kind of mixing directions. People, they're always like, man, you're a Maverick Entrepreneur. Is it marriage? Is it business? It's called life. And I don't think as an entrepreneur you could separate any of this stuff. My faith, my family, my business, and now I just have a little burr in my spirit because I've met too many wuss Christians. I said it. And I got too many Christians that are naive. And I'm in a very specific kind of niche where I'm also an entrepreneur and a pastor, that I get to be a part of an amazing church. And with that, you get to see a lot of different scenarios. And after this whole Charlie Kirk thing of him being assassinated, I just said I got too many naive people that aren't taking life serious enough and don't understand the spiritual war out there. And in spiritual war, that means there is a physical war. There is good versus evil. And so this podcast is very specific for waking up my community of believers. And when I say my, listen, if you believe in Jesus, then I'm talking to you. And if you don't believe in Jesus, you definitely want to listen to this, because you're going to have to pick a side at some point. And I hope it's not on the wrong side. And we're going to talk about that. So with me is this gentleman that the rumors are true. And I'm going to let you, I would love for you to just give us some background. I want to talk about, one, your background, two, your nonprofit, three, what you do to help churches, entrepreneurs, or just anybody protect their family and use your background, your smarts, your brains, your skill sets. Tell us all about you, and then I'm going to ask you, I'm going to pepper you with questions,
All right, let's do it.
And we'll let this thing just roll.
Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So first off, I was an East Coast guy. So came from New England. Was born in New York. Moved to New Hampshire with my mom when I was very young, and was a pretty average kid. Not a stellar student or athlete. Kind of floated in the middle. I was an only child until I was about 9. My mom remarried, and had my little brother. So I have a half brother who's almost 10 years younger than I am, and just grew up in a pretty normal household, and never thought the military was going to be a direction that I was going to go in life. And post high school, I ended up going to college for a semester, and it just was not for me. And so I ended up enlisting into the Navy in, say, early 2004. And then I got placed into what's called the delayed entry program, where I just had an 11-month wait before I could actually go to boot camp.
Is that where you just get in the best shape of your life so you crush boot camp?
Yes. So I got in phenomenal shape, worked hard, and I just got a couple jobs, started earning as much money as I could, and then I ended up going into boot camp January of 2005. And from there I was in Great Lakes, Illinois for my boot camp, my A school. Once I for my rating for the Navy.
Yeah.
And then from there, I stayed out in Great Lakes, and I went to what's now called pre-buds. Back then it was just the dive motivator program. It was a very non-official.
Is that to like cut people out so they can't?
No. It was more just getting them prepared.
Okay.
And so I went into the Navy with a buds contract, right? When I went to the recruiters, I didn't even know what buds was, what a SEAL was. I mean, this is back before the movies and the video games and TV shows were big. So I think I had one book that I found. So I had no idea what I was getting into. I went to all the branches, and I was just like, what's the hardest thing you got? You know, I grew up with a lot of depression, self-esteem issues, confidence issues, and I just kind of wanted something that was going to be challenging, difficult to prove to myself. Right. I just wanted whatever I could get. And went to all the branches, and then kind of landed on the Navy. The recruiter actually had a lot of good information about buds and what the SEAL teams were like, and so it just kind of sounded like the route I wanted to go. And so I went into the Navy with a contract that just stated I had a guaranteed spot at buds. And so through boot camp, A school, the dive motivator program, just getting prepared, you actually get out of shape going into Navy boot camp because it's just so non-active. Like if you're gonna go Marine boot camp. So I lost a ton of weight, ton of muscle, and I left boot camp at like 145.
Oh,
wow! That was a little guy.
How are you going to carry a log at 145?
Yeah, I went in at 180.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and so
that's a lot of weight.
Yeah, it was a lot of weight. And so I was a little dude. Yeah, I mean I still am, but I ended up coming out here to San Diego in 2006 to go to buds. I started with class 259, ended up getting an injury in Hell Week, got rolled back to the beginning, started up again with 261, got an injury in Hell Week again.
What were your injuries?
The first injury I got, it was called brachial plexopathy. It was a nerve damage in my neck. I ended up losing all of my feeling and movement in my left arm for 3.5 months.
Oh, I wish I knew you.
Me too.
I got tricks for that.
Yeah, so the good thing was it's pretty common.
Yeah.
There's at least a couple people that'll get it each class.
Yeah.
And so the doc was like, good news is your feeling will come back. Bad news, it could be a week, it could be a year. There was really no way of knowing. And so during that time, I got placed in the in-doc office, just being an office mouse for the instructors until I got my feeling and moving back. And so I skipped 260, classed up again with 261, ended up getting pneumonia in Hell Week, blacked out in the galley. We were having lunch. It was Wednesday afternoon, and I just face planted in my meal. And I woke up in the ER to people cutting off my clothes. My boots were flying. I had no idea what was going on. And they said my O2 went down to like a 49.
Wow.
And anyway, they surprisingly rolled me again. And so then I started up at the beginning with 262 and ended up making it through with them. And so that was in 2000. We graduated, went through training, went through buds, SQT.
Well, how many weeks the
in
first
07.
week were you in before you got injured?
So the way the layout is when you class up, you start in-doc, which is 3 weeks, and it's just to get you prepped.
Yeah.
And then you have first phase, second phase, third phase.
Yeah.
Hell Week is the 4th week of first phase, so it's pretty early on. So it's 7 weeks into the program.
Okay. How long is the total program?
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's
7
the worst
weeks of the program.
Yeah, it's the worst 7.
So buds is 7 months, and then SQT is another 7 months. So you actually don't get your trident until after SQT. So it's over a year of training. So I was in buds for 13 months, and then SQT on top of that.
Dang, that's wild.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, well, hey, you finally got it.
Yeah, finally got it, and ended up going to SEAL Team 7 here in San Diego, or in Coronado, and it was. I mean, it was not very many people get to accomplish their dreams in life, and it was a good day of getting to. I think the biggest part is just making it through, and that feeling of, hey, like this part is behind me. But I learned a lot, and then you look back on it, and I had a ton of fun in Buds.
Yeah.
For as challenging as it was, I had a really good group of dudes that I went through training with. We worked hard during the week and then partied hard on the weekends.
Oh, yeah, full
and
send.
had a really good time. And
Oh
then,
man, I guess I've helped put
I'm
a lot
sure.
of lot of froggies back together.
Yeah.
And I hope you got a very high rating when you got out.
It took a while.
Yeah,
But
well-
I will say they do, from what I hear now and from what I can see on the outside, they do a really good job with the students these days in keeping them in better shape, making sure that they're
Yeah.
capable of going through training. They have physical therapists, nutritionists, all these things.
Yeah,
And
they-
so
they
we
do a
didn't,
lot
we didn't have
better.
any of that
A
when I
lot
was going
better.
through.
I think they open their eyes on what's possible. And with all the performance nutrition out there and some of the cutting edge stuff. Matter of fact, now I know they used to only use the hyperbaric for benzos and stuff, but now they're using it for all sorts of
Interesting.
recovery, which is, I have 5 of those things. And I have hyperbaric going from morning till night with people in them for health reasons, repair, recovery. And a lot of those guys that would get beat down, if they would have just spent the night in a good hyperbaric, they'd have been ready to go the next day.
Yeah, well, the thing is, by the time you make it to the team, I mean, I was already broken.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my injuries that I still live with today was through Buds.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, everything. Knee injuries, ankles, shoulders. I mean, my shoulders are just destroyed right now. Lower back stuff. But I mean, it's old news. You talk to, anybody from the military, but especially any special forces or special operations guy. I mean,
It's true.
you just tell by the way they walk.
I probably have about 10 SEALs that are 60 years old and plus, and they're the funniest dudes. They are crouchety. They can't look at you without turning their whole body, but they got great stories, and they're just they're warriors, man. They're warriors. But well, tell me. So you've been trained with the skill set, and you get out, and then you're trying to figure life out, and I'm sure that's an interesting part about it. But I know that you have a nonprofit called Active Valor. Tell us about what that is, and what got you into it, and why
Sure.
you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, so Active Valor it's a nonprofit. We're a 501c3 here in San Diego, and our mission is to reignite the purpose in the lives of our transitioning veterans here locally, and hopefully our message can extend outside of San Diego. But we have a program called Valor Adventures, and what that is we take transitioning veterans who have gotten out of the military, every branch, combat, non-combat, it doesn't matter. And we pair them as ongoing mentors to Gold Star kids. And so those are children that have lost a parent either overseas in combat or to PTSD-related suicide while serving, or other means, whether it's, some type of accidents or medical issues, but
Yeah.
the parent that has passed while on active duty. And so we host a series of these crazy elaborate outdoor events throughout San Diego that are all themed. They're a big production. I mean, we really wanted to create an environment that was unique and a fun experience for everybody, but also a place where the kids get to learn.
Yeah.
And so it's really designed to have our veterans just be able to pour their military knowledge and experience into the kids that don't have it in their home anymore.
Is the need big out there for that?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
We started in 2016. It's when Active Valor became a brand.
Yeah.
And for the first year, so we knew we wanted to work on this Valor Adventures program, didn't quite know exactly what it looked like yet. So our first year, while we were developing that, we were just doing dog training. We were giving free dog training to veterans and their dogs. A good friend of mine who was a former SEAL as well, he was a canine handler. And so we would just meet in Balboa Park every other weekend, and you would just give free behavior training to vets and their dogs. And so once we had the Valor Adventures program kind of really honed in, that's where all our focus shift.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have our first Valor Adventure event until September of 2017. And getting involved with the Gold Star community was challenging, right? I mean, they're a reserved community for their reasons, rightfully
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
And it really took, we just went online to different groups in the area, and we're like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we're trying to do. If you would like to be involved, we would love to have you. And for that first event, we ended up having 11 Gold Star kids, 11 veterans as their mentors, and then 7 widows that joined the day. And what we did is we went out to Warner Springs, about an hour or so east of here, and we put on this big mission-based treasure hunt where
That's cool.
it was a ton of fun. It was some private property out there, and so the kids, all the kids got a nice backpack with maps, compasses, e-tools, all this fun gear that they can have for the event and to take home after. And the vets taught them just some basic land nav, teaching them how to read a map.
And that's been going strong since 2017.
Yes, yeah.
Getting bigger? Is the momentum building?
So we got big, and then COVID hit, mellowed out a little bit, and we'll talk about that. But it was a great experience. The kids got to, so basically the pairs would go off into their separate directions. We had the vets actually come out the week prior. We did all this pre-planning. They chose the routes they wanted to go, and they actually had buried treasure at the end. But there was 5 different waypoints where they would have to go to. There was some sort of puzzle or something they had to figure out together that would give them their coordinates to the next spot. So they had to be successful in their first mission to move on to their next one, the next one. And we were super nervous. So it's just myself and my wife. We were the only 2 people that operate this. We have a small board that helps us out now. I mean, we didn't in the beginning. But it's just the 2 of us just coming up with these ideas. And we had one shot, right, to make a good impression.
Well, why were you so passionate about it?
So going back before Active Valor was born, after I got out of the military, I tried to get away from the tactical space, the training space. I ended up picking up a job with this company called Competitor Group, and they put on all the rock and roll marathons over the country. It was a ton of fun. I was traveling the country. I mean, I'd actually never traveled like that. Even when I was in the SEAL teams, all of our training was pretty local here, so I didn't get to see a lot of the country. And so every other week we were in a new city, just setting up races. I did that for a year, and after that, I ended up picking up a range safety officer job at a local indoor range here, and you're basically a glorified janitor. It was an awful job. It was an amazing facility, and I met some really good people working there. And then from there, I ended up finding a tactical training school out here in Escondido. It was called Warfighter Academy, and we were just teaching close quarters combat to civilians, law enforcement, military. It was all force-on-force training, meaning we were using guns that shoot projectiles, and so you can actually train on how to be in a gunfight, not just go to a range and teach marksmanship. And so
is that still going?
So it's still going. The building's gone. The city bought the building. It's now apartments, but the company's still around. I'm one of the few trainers that are still training actively, and then the lead instructor that started it all, this guy named Dave Maynard. He was a retired SEAL, like 21 years in the SEAL teams, and then 10 plus years as a GRS contractor with the CIA. The guy was still operating overseas when he was in his late 60s, early 70s.
Wow.
Just a freak of nature specimen. He's still active today, but he's still training today.
It reminds me of the guy that trained me. What was his name? From SEAL Fit.
Mark Devine.
Mark
Is that
Devine.
Mark Devine?
I'm going to tell you.
I've never met him, but he seems intense.
Legit. And when you go through his training, he had a pre-BUDS training that he guaranteed. He said 93% of my students pass. And he says the 7% that don't pass isn't because their mind's weak, because I won't even put my name on if their mind's weak. It's due to injury.
Yeah.
He says they get hurt.
Yeah, injury and performance.
Injury performance. He said you can't do anything about that. He said, but 93% success rate. And I went through, I brought 5 guys. I paid them privately like a little mastermind. And we went through his, it was a 2-day training. And I don't even know how you made it your months. It was the roughest 2 days of my life. And we thought because we were civilians, it couldn't be that. You know, I mean, what's he going to do?
Yeah,
you know, we're
they'll tone it down a
civilians.
little
We
bit.
know we're not physically fit like this. I have never been, he called it the grinder. I have never thrown up before like I did that. And then at the night, Friday night, I'll never forget, he said, hey, you guys get a really good night's sleep. 6, whatever it is, 0600, you're up. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, that's amazing. I'm going to get up at 5. There's a Starbucks right across the street. I'm going to sneak over to Starbucks, get a coffee. I wake up at 4:30 anyways. It's going to be amazing. I'll be so ready for tomorrow. I just need a good night's sleep. That's what I kept saying. So I'm thinking in my mind, this is going to be great. I get a fire hose on me at 3 in the morning.
That's
spraying
a
me
good way to
down.
wake up.
I was so disoriented. I rolled up and I didn't have my shirt with my name on it. I just rolled out in my underwear on the grinder. And then, man, everyone had to do a couple hundred push-ups because I'm the only one without a shirt on because I was so disoriented. And then we had to fireman carry down to the beach. And at 4 a.m., we're in the water doing the whatever. Dude. And then one of my friends rang the bell, and because he gave up. He got so fearful in the water going backwards. We had to lock arms with each other. I'm just thinking we're all going to die. He freaking quits because he lost his glasses. And Mark's like, that's why you got to trust your buddy. But he got so mental, he quit. I'll never forget it. The people instructor kicked him off the property. He literally drove down San Diego but flew back to Boston. He was one of my buddies from Boston. Get this. He sold his company 2 weeks later for $50 million. He then could not believe that he let fear shut him down, realized all these insecurities he had. He went back, hired Mark one-on-one, and went through his 5-day, whatever, he had some 5-day course. 5-day course, and said, I'm never going to do that again, because he said that's the only thing that's defeated him in life. But
Yeah,
it was,
you learn a lot about yourself going through
oh, and
that stuff.
this guy was so physically fit. He was like CrossFit champion. He was crushing us. So it was the thing that took him out that no one saw coming, because we just thought this guy's the animal, man. He's the super nerd animal. He got crushed. So,
But once going through buds too, it's very common. The people you think are gonna make it are usually the ones that end up not. We had Olympic athletes in 2 of my classes that I was in, and it is what it is. And I mean, the mental kicks in, and the cold and being wet, cold, wet, and sandy is. You just got to think about it. Can I do this for the next X amount of months? And kind of once you come to terms with that, it gets a little easier.
is that it?
But then also just having the people around you, and what's challenging is you'll have people that are there to lift you up because you're all going through it together.
Yeah.
But then what's dangerous is you have people like when they go to quit, nobody wants to quit alone.
Yeah.
And so they'll be in the surf, locked arms with each other, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bell. You want to come with me?" And like sometimes that's all it takes. And you see multiple people, and like you see groups going to the bell.
Group think, baby.
yeah.
Group think. All right, so let's get back to this. So Active Valor's a full thing. You started the training.
Yeah. So with Active Valor, we built it for the veterans.
Yeah.
They were the heart behind it. We just I didn't even really meet another vet until 2014, and then getting to hear their stories about their transition out, how the challenges they went through, the struggles they went through, they was all so similar.
It's a real thing.
And they're like, wow, like these guys have the same story I do. And it's really funny with veterans is we all think we're going through this alone, and our situations are sometimes just cookie cutter.
The
we're
devil's
all
a liar.
going through the same thing. So we just wanted a way to give back to them, let them know that just because they don't wear the uniform anymore, that their services are still needed, that their skill sets are still able to serve the community in just in a different capacity. And so before we even thought about the Gold Star family community, we're like, who can they serve? We didn't want to just do random community service, which is good in the moment, but it doesn't leave a lasting impression. And my wife and I, we sat and prayed about it and just waited to get a word, and it came to both of us in the matter of a second.
Wow.
And it made sense. Like, here's this community that left the military for whatever reasons. Here's this community that lost their connection to the military from their spouse or from, father dying. And let's bring them together.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they can offer one another. And now it's, a place where our vets know that they're doing something meaningful. They know that they're having a lasting impression in the lives of these kids. The children get to learn these valuable life lessons and skill sets from these guys that walked in the shoes of their dads. And the spouses get a space where they can come together as well, be able to share their stories. What's challenging is we hear this a lot from our Gold Star spouses is, after so many years, like, it's hard for them to still tell the stories of their husbands. Like, no one wants to hear it anymore. It kind of becomes old news to certain people, but they live it every day.
Yeah.
And so we have a space now where they get to come. We always have an activity set up for them. They get some free babysitting for the day, and they know that their kids are off with some dudes that are teaching them some good life lessons. And then we've created a really good family environment. And
what's the next level of that?
So
let's raise it some money, man. My next church thing went, because my next, we just gave away some money for some nonprofits that were near to my heart. But, I come from a military family, so, I'd love to figure out how we can help support it so you can level that thing up.
Yeah, I mean, the Awaken's been great so far.
Yeah.
They've been helping us financially throughout the years. And yeah, really, so we started out, obviously, like, our first event, decently small, 11 kids, 11 vets, 7 spouses. It took less than a year, and we had quadrupled those numbers.
Wow.
After our first event, we never had to advertise because all the moms were sharing their stories on social media, and word got out. So we've never had to advertise to get more families on board.
What's the website?
It's just activevalor.com.
Okay, we're gonna raise money for it.
Appreciate it.
I want to switch gears to my other passion right now, because I could talk about Active Valor this whole episode. And I know you're passionate about it. And but we're gonna get behind it. We'll get the word out. What is it? activevalor.org or
.com.
.com?
We might have .org as well, but
Okay.
.com. On our website, which is nice, is we have a video archive too, so you can look at all our events and to see really what goes into it, because they're out there. They're a lot of fun things that kids wouldn't get elsewhere. Our past Halloween events we've had have been spectacular. They're the most fun, huge production.
We're doing it then.
But,
all right, everybody, you are going to go activevalor.com. You're going to check it out, and we'll be talking about it more. We might have to come back and maybe we'll get some footage of just what you guys do, and we'll get it on here.
Yeah, and because we got a whole new program that we're doing. So if we can throw that in here later, just keep people excited for it.
Let's do it. We're down for it. We want to help, and I believe in it, and it's a great cause. And which brings me to your business side. What's the name of your business?
It's Fortified Measures.
Fortified Measures. Okay. Listen up, everybody. I'm going to tell you something. I was in 1997. I was 22 years old, and I got carjacked. Except I didn't give up my car, but it got dangerous, and a lot of people could have got hurt. At the end of it, if it wasn't for a tire shop and a bunch of big burly men with tires, the guy that jumped out of his car with a gun pointed at me would have easily shot me. And I really believe God's hand of protection was upon me. This guy jumped in his car. He was fleeing to Mexico. He ended up getting caught, going to jail. I pressed charges. I mean, I would get random checks in the mail, for, I don't know. He was having to pay me off somehow through the court system. But he ended up getting saved, and I ran into him years later. And it was such a radical thing because he was messed up. He was a messed up young kid without parents. And at the time, I had so much anger towards this guy, but it forced me to know that there's evil in the world. And this kid did meet Jesus, did clean up his life, things changed. But since then, I have a very interesting thing growing up in a military family that you got to train. So I've always trained. I've had my conceal and carry. You know, my brother-in-law came down and I didn't even pass his home invasion thing of what I do. So I failed on all fronts when my brother-in-law, who's been interviewed on here, part of the, you know, he's the one that built CAGWorks, and but he trains like you. He has a training facility up in Reno, and he takes executives and people through high-level trainings. Yep. He trains. That's how he met Cameron Tour, or they were Rangers together, but they both trained. Post Malone, and all their videos are viral online. But that he runs them through, and I just realized that when I don't train, or if I don't train, half the stuff I've learned. Now that's just in the gun training. I haven't done knife training. I just, you know, started watching videos on that. And with what's going on in the world since 2020, with the Antifa, with you know, I had someone follow my wife home. That's why we ended up moving. And I had video cameras. You know, you do the things you think you need, but there is evil in the world. There are people out there, especially, you know, I watch, you know, when I became a pilot, I would watch every accident every week. And people think that's dark, but it actually helped me be a better pilot. Yeah. You know, I want to see and most of them were human errors. Now, there could be plane malfunctions, but then they panicked, and so you have to train in those situations. And that's a lot of what, you know, you go through your military training. You're training situational training. It's what you're teaching now. And I love the fact this is a business, so people can hire you to come in, and I want you to explain that. But the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I have a family of 3 kids. I even tell situational awareness. I've taught all 3 of my kids. You know, don't be going petting puppies. You know, if they're trying to allure you away, this is what happens at parks. I show them real life scenarios, and people would give me a hard time all the time going, dude, they're too young. I was like, I'm not scaring them, I'm preparing them. And if you look at the stats about child abduction, we live in America and everybody's just so thinks that, oh, I don't want to go to Cabo. Bro, what do you mean you don't want to go to Cabo? Oh yeah, you know, the gangsters in Cabo, man, the cartel, they could kidnap you. And I said, what do you think's happening in America? Mm-hmm. What do you think's happening in San Diego? So, and this isn't fear-based. This is a reality that you need to understand what's going on. Can you share what you know about, well, you can tell what your business is. What do you know statistically is going on in America, especially San Diego? And I know there's some gang activity. I'd love for you to say what you know and wake some people up, and then how can we help them think smarter and open their eyes? What do you got?
Well, all right, so Fortified Measures was built after COVID, right? It was during COVID where the riots were happening. It was right after the big one in La Mesa happened, and I had all these people reaching out to me. They're like, first it was like, hey, can I borrow a gun? It's like, no, you can't borrow a gun. But you couldn't get them.
People ask that?
Yeah. A couple people asked to borrow a gun because you couldn't get them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, ammo was at, everyone was buying the guns and ammo.
Yeah.
And so then I had a few people, they were like, hey, I have a new gun. I don't know how to use it. Can you come to my house? Teach me how to use it. And so after doing that a few times, I was like, well, clearly there's a need. And not only is there a need, but it's a necessity right now in our country. I mean, really across the globe, but our country as well. That like people are starting to. I think that's the beginning of when people started to realize and see what's actually happening with Antifa, BLM, all the riots that were going on.
Especially, I think that one family. I don't know what, back in the Midwest when they held off Antifa, and there was a picture of him.
Oh yeah, the guy and his wife. Yeah.
I was like, that sparked conversations in my practice. Like everyone, Dr. Matt, what do you think about that?
Yep.
I was like, dude, that guy was gutsy. But I said,
yeah, well, I mean, a lot of things could have been done differently.
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
Better, it would have been more awkward if he had to use it.
Yeah.
My dad always taught me, you brandish it, you better prepare to use it. Don't brandish unless the next move is a trigger pull.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So from that time is what got me to start doing all this research. So obviously, my time in the military, I only did 6 years in the military, so I didn't have a huge, extensive career. I mean, I was lucky to get some really good combat experience. But after I got out is when my training developed more. When I was working at that Warfighter Academy, I mean, I was doing close quarters training 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for years. It was the most consistent training I'd ever gotten, even more so than the military, right? Because you're always switching and doing these other things, other skill sets you need to learn. So it was just dedicated time. And so since 2014 to today, I mean, it's 11 years of just consistent training, and it opened my eyes as well. And so what we do with Fortified Measures is we will travel to people's homes, and we teach them how to be better protectors, to keep themselves protected, their families protected against home invasions, but also against any type of life-threatening situation, right? We have fires out here, earthquakes, things like that. But we use a set of training tools that are all 100% completely safe. There's 0 projectiles, but they're all replicas of firearms that have laser barrels. They're all gas powered, so you get recoil. So there's a lot of realism to it. All the targets we use are digital, they're interactive, they give you immediate feedback. So it gives you an opportunity to have a realistic environment, but it's fun. Like, especially when you include the family, like it's a good time. Because when people are having fun, it's, I think, a little easier for them to start correlating things, and it's easier for them to remember because it's less stressful. Obviously, you want to train under stress eventually as well, but you get them in a comfortable environment. I mean, I've showed up to people's homes and they're in their PJs because they're like, hey, I'm in my pajamas all day. I work from home. This is what I wear. This is what I'm going to train in. Like, great, good on you. So
you better buy some tactical PJs, buddy.
So yeah, it's a couple different options to do. Is like there's a 1 day or 2 day home defense package they can get. Obviously, you can't learn everything in 1 or 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Just like any other skill set.
It's an eye-opening experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you want to get their minds thinking, get the wheels turning, and also by the time I leave, you want them to feel comfortable, but also want to feel like, all right, there's more that I need to do.
Yeah.
And even on their own, I'm not saying I need to come back every week.
Yeah.
But it's a perishable skill, and it's just like any other sport or martial arts, right? I'm not going to go to a jiu-jitsu class and be a black belt after one session, right? It takes years and tens of thousands of repetitions.
In the racing world, they call it seat time.
Yeah.
You want to be fast, you need seat time.
But everything that I give you in the home, all the training tools I use, they're all available to civilians. I mean, I work with these companies pretty closely, and so there's trainers you can get to help build up that muscle memory, and you can do them at home every day. And
What's the one I just got, the Mantex?
The Mantis?
Mantis.
Yeah, Mantis is a good system, especially for...
I need someone to show me how to use it.
Yeah, they have a lot of good training tools, especially if you need to fix those minute details in your trigger press and your grip and things like that. Mantis is really good. I work with a company called Laser Ammo that make a lot of the blowback systems. A lot of great digital targets as well. I mean, I use them at home all the time. One, it's fun, but also it's just good training. I mean, I can work on that. You can
maybe I should get a film crew and we film you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Training. You know, we could do that.
Yeah, it'd be a good time.
That'd be a good time because I need you, and I want to learn these skill sets. So why do you think the need is important? Do you really think there's a threat out there?
Yeah. So over the last 4 years, home invasions across the country skyrocketed. And we're talking about San Diego specifically. We were talking earlier, but over the last 3 years or so, 2-3 years, there was a bunch of Chilean gangs that came across the border, and they were burglarizing all the nice areas of San Diego.
And you were telling me they were pretty tactical.
They're very sophisticated. So they would be in nice vehicles, so they weren't standing out in neighborhoods. They were... there was always groups of, I think, 3 or 4 people. I mean, they had drivers, they had dedicated people going into the homes. They were doing their homework and scouting neighborhoods and homes where, I guess the only pro to this is they were making sure people were not in the house. They were in, they were out, they knew what was valuable, what was fake. They would take all the valuables out and they'd be gone. They had Wi-Fi jammers for alarm systems. They were scaling second stories, getting into windows that weren't that didn't have alarms on them. I mean, I saw this video on the news as well where they actually found a ghillie suit, right? One of those foliage-looking things that
Yeah.
snipers wear off in the hillside because they were out in on the hillside watching homes from like across the canyon. And so they were scouting all these homes and neighborhoods and watching people's watching their schedules. Last year, there's a neighborhood out here in Escondido as well that so a friend of mine who works for USCCA, which is a self-defense liability insurance company. Side note, if you own a firearm, you have to have liability insurance. I can't stress enough.
Yeah,
You
I better
have to
check
have that liability. But then especially if you're carrying out on the streets with a CCW, but even having it within the home, if you own a firearm, you should have it. But anyway, he gave me a call because the HOA had contacted the sheriff's department after a home invasion. They contacted USCCA. I just happened to be friends with the San Diego rep. He called me. We put on this big seminar for their neighborhood. I mean, there's over 700 homes in their neighborhood. And so what happened was one of these groups came in. They went in to burglarize the home, didn't know that there was other people in the house. And so the main residents left. And I think it might have been like one of their parents that was living in the house. And so they break into the home. People are still in the house. They were fortunate to lock themselves in the bedroom, barricade themselves in. People grabbed whatever they could. They bailed, but the neighborhood just went up in a frenzy. So we went, and that's another thing that we do with Fortified Measures is we'll go talk to HOA associations and get the community involved. Just give them an easy PowerPoint presentation where they can get immediate stuff that they can do now to just try to fortify
Give us some
their
little
homes.
things we could do now.
Sure.
What do you think would help people like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, simple things exterior wise, right? You can, if you have the means, right? Because not everyone's a homeowner, but you can do, first of all, get a gate, get cameras. If you're getting cameras, make sure they're visible. That's the one thing is people always want the hidden camera in the birdhouse.
Yeah.
No, I want my cameras visible. So if someone's walking up my driveway, they know immediately that they're being watched.
Yeah.
You can, even something as simple as getting a sign that says security systems here. You don't even need to have one, right? A sign that says security system or beware of dog. Easy deterrences, good lighting, 360 lighting around the house. You want to make your home as least desirable as possible, right? You want someone coming up to your house and saying, this is going to be a pain for me. I'm going to go to the neighbor's house. Sorry, neighbors, but I want to make sure that my house is strengthened and they're not coming, into my house. Interior, you can do putting bars in windows and window tracks, whether it's window tracks or slider doors, because door locks. I've seen a ton of videos too where the sliding door locks can be defeated. Like they take something in, they lift the door off the track, and they're able to get it out and open. So you can put bars in the tracks of windows and doors. There's
Why do I just want a 007 my house? I want
there's a
ball
level
bearings.
there's a level of paranoia versus being prepared. It's a thin line, but it's realistic nowadays where, you kind of get close to that line because you never know what's
people
going
are
to
getting more brazen, so they're getting ballsier. Like I'm watching people, I've been at 2 gas stations, and I was at one local and one in Arizona where I saw this guy coming towards me, and I stepped out and said, "You're picking the wrong truck." And I looked right at him, and I was just thinking to myself, this is going to go wrong. And I started praying, actually, under my breath, praying in tongues. And he turned around and walked the other way. And I knew it was evil, man. And then the other one here locally, I saw a guy snag a woman's purse out of her car and just start running. And there's nothing. My instinct was to chase him, but I had my two kids in the car. So I'm like, nah, this ain't my fight. That's a purse.
Well, to your first point, so your first experience, one of the best things you can do is making eye contact, right? Having the situational awareness I'm not just pumping my gas and I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm looking for threats or potential threats.
Yeah.
And a good deterrence is, I mean, if you make eye contact, that alone might be enough because they're looking for the easy targets.
Yep.
When they know that you're watching them,
Yep.
that could be enough for them to go to the next person that isn't paying attention, who is on their phone,
That's why
who has
I'm
their doors
I'm
unlocked.
glad my wife has a Tesla. She doesn't have to go to the gas station. One of
Yeah,
my things
yeah.
to get my wife a Tesla was so she didn't have to go to
Really?
the gas station anymore. Because it's just too easy right now for people to get accosted at the gas stations.
Yeah, and people are emboldened because they know that our justice system is in their favor. You
Yeah.
know, it favors criminals, and it's an unfortunate truth that we got to deal with.
Yeah, people aren't getting softer; they're getting meaner.
Yeah.
It's like evil is getting more bold as goodness rises.
Yeah.
You know, and especially you look at this. You know, okay, Charlie Kirk, 30 out 6.
I mean, we could spend a whole
I know.
3-hour
I just wanna know.
program.
I just got
that,
it.
that whole situation is not what it seems. I'm sorry. I mean, there's too much. I mean, I can't even call it evidence, but there's too much footage out there that just shows differently.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that speak on it.
Oh,
But
you got
it's not it's not what
clickbait.
it seems. It really isn't.
Yeah, I know, but there's some of it, like, I like to really look, like, now they're coming on this whole thing about the kid that, you know, we went and investigated that from a church standpoint, too, that, you know, you get this high function.
Oh, the kid that was speaking to him.
They're now
Yeah.
trying to make that. I think, no, dude, the kid is still on campus, scared out of his mind, freaked out. Not, you know, we have a church up there, so we're, you know, looking after him. But, you know, it's sad to see, you
Yeah.
know, you get people going off the rails like Candace Owens, but, you
Yeah,
know,
and there's extreme, and then there's like this actually makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you
Exactly.
gotta use discernment. You know, you gotta
do.
kind of.
and I got one, so I was thinking to myself, you know, I believe in miracles, but I was thinking no matter what, it'd be a whole lot worse if he took a face shot. The whole country would be traumatized.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what the
Yeah.
bullet was. So,
I will say after that incident, there's been, from what I have seen, a huge rise in people's faith, their boldness,
yeah.
refusing to be a victim. I mean, you see it across the country. People are like, hey, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And you know, it can happen to any one of us. I'm not gonna be a victim anymore. I'm gonna step up. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna get myself prepared.
They're clapped
Yeah.
back in it, Antifa.
Yeah.
You know, like I know.
Because it's been too long. I mean,
Too
it's
long.
been
You know,
how
just-
many years now where we've had to put up because we have the
Moral
moral
high
standard.
road.
Exactly. And, you know, we have an internal voice that's saying we're not going to stoop to their level.
Yeah.
But again, where's that line? Because
That's why I want to play that song. We're not gonna
Yeah.
take
that
it.
twisted sister.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, it's, you know, Tom Petty's been my guy forever. I won't back down, you know. And I think what you're doing is a great service. How do we find what you do and what ideally do you do 1 days, half days? You come out to their home? How long? Like, what's the expectation?
So, yeah, so there's so fortifiedmeasures.com is my website, and then fortified_measures on Instagram. So yeah, a couple options. There's the home defense route. So these are usually people that have some sort of firearms experience because we don't go over basics. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm there to teach you how to defend yourself in the
Yeah.
home. We also we help your family create a plan because not everything is about going to attack who's coming in,
Yeah.
right? You create a realistic plan of like what's going to keep myself, my family safe. How do I abide by the laws
Don't
as well?
be a hero.
Exactly. So we also offer just basic fundamental courses for people that are new firearms owners or they're novice and they want more training. Same thing. It's in the house. We bring out the same training tools and we can teach you in a non-stressful environment before we take you out to do live fire and then put you under stress.
I tell every family member at my church, at least own one gun. At least.
Well,
You know.
2 is 1, 1 is none.
Oh,
All right, so-
that's good to know. 2 is 1.
You hear that a
1 is
lot.
none. Okay. Well, I say that because too many people think your alarm goes off, the police are coming.
Yeah.
But you know what I did the minute I had my alarm? The first
Grab your firearm.
No,
and-
the first week I had my alarm all set up in here. I set a chair out in my driveway. I opened my gate to party mode. I grabbed a cigar. I set my alarm off, and I waited.
Really.
Guess when the sheriff rolled up into my driveway?
So let's see. average response time in San Diego County at the moment is 38 minutes.
Yeah, mine was 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours
For the sheriff's department.
for the
Really?
sheriff's department. I was
What year was this?
all right when I moved in 2021.
Okay, so it was kind of in the heat of
Yeah, it's in
everything.
the heat, so it's fair. I should reassess.
Yeah,
but I
it should be
I
better
finished
now.
that cigar very fast, and I just waited and waited and waited
Yeah.
and waited. When they rolled up, they were like, I was like, yeah, I had to pay some permit fee.
Yep.
I remember I got the thing. I said that was the greatest $25 fine I've ever
Yep.
paid. But I'd never answer the phone. My alarm company's calling me.
Yeah,
My
right.
mother-in-law, because she was the thing, was calling me. They were all freaking out. But I was like, no, I got to do this.
Well, there's a saying that goes, when seconds matter, police are minutes away. Realistically, even if they were next door,
Yeah.
they're not there to prevent it. All
Yeah.
right. Everyone has to
They're gonna
become
take
their
a
own
report.
first responder. They have to be, because just like you said, if you're sitting here waiting for police to come, they're not going to come when you need them, right? They're there to come clean up the mess, take a report, and then go about their business. So
Yeah.
and that's one thing people need to realize is when things happen, one, they're going to happen when you're not expecting it, right? It's going to be the least favorable time of the
Yeah.
day or evening. Even if you are a gun owner, what happens if, hey, my gun's in my bedroom in the safe upstairs and someone kicks in your side door here,
Yeah.
right? You have to get into that fighter mindset of
Yeah.
how do I react, all right? And it's not just, hey, I need to turn and burn and go to my gun. Like if they're breaking into this window right here, what do I have that's a weapon right here? This lion here looks pretty heavy. I could use that to throw, be a deterrence. Maybe it gives me time to turn and run, or if it's close enough, I can close the distance, get hands-on if I have to. If you're like me, I say this joke all the time, but it's true. If you're like me, like my wife has all these Yankee candles around the house. Those are massive jars that are going to hurt somebody, right?
Yeah.
You get one of those flying at your head, what are you going to do? Every
Yeah.
person's going to have the same human reaction. They're going to try to protect themselves. And so
Yeah.
that might, no guarantee in anything,
Yeah.
might give you a second to turn and run, close the gap, and do what you got to do. But just realize that just having a firearm doesn't mean you're going to be safe. How many people they have a firearm, they put it in their nightstand, and they're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm ready. They've never trained with it. They've
Yep.
never trained under stress. That's another thing.
That's another
Because
thing.
what if they keep their gun there and it's unchambered?
Yep.
Someone breaks into the house. Maybe they make it all the way up to their room before they have the wherewithal.
Yep.
They wake up, grab their firearm, gun goes click, because they didn't train to load around in the chamber.
Yeah.
So there's all these different aspects, and it's
We just
a
need to
lot.
get you-
It's a lot to think about.
And you do a lot for churches too. You help,
Yes. Yep.
security teams,
So
stuff like that. I know
yeah,
you've
that's a
helped
big
us
thing.
out.
Big thing right now.
Right now.
I was just at a church 2 days ago
Yeah.
in Oceanside, helping
Yeah.
them to just walk the property, give them a good game plan, but also we figured out a schedule of what training looks like, because they want training for their staff.
Yeah.
They want them armed, they want them capable of protecting the congregation. So, and that's everything from live fire training, giving them a standardized test that people need to pass in order to carry in the church.
we need
'Cause that's
to
a
do
big one
that.
as well. I can't even tell you how many people
Don't tell me. I don't
in
wanna be
San
depressed.
Diego that
I'm
have
preaching
their
on Sunday. I don't
their
want to worry
carry
about it.
permit that have never even practiced drawing from concealment.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I
it-
watch my security guards and I go, I'll be preaching going, that guy's not trained, that guy's not trained. Oh, look at the guy coming down my stairs with the backpack that looks like he's manifesting.
Yep.
Okay, not one of my security guys has his eye.
Yeah.
I'm preaching and looking at my whole security team. And when I was at Bressie, did you ever hear about this?
No, maybe.
I was preaching and a guy manifested, came down, got under me and started going crazy.
I think I did hear about
right
this,
underneath,
yeah.
And everyone froze. Actually,
Yep.
Rick, he has all the video stuff. Everyone froze, and my worship leader, smallest dude in the church, went over and tackled him. It
Smallest
was
dude, biggest heart.
crazy. It was amazing. Well,
Well,
listen,
we'll talk.
yeah,
Because there's a lot that we can do.
Yeah,
if you
that'd
really
be
want to beef up the security
hired,
team, we can
hired,
do it.
Done. Well, listen, I know we could go on and on about this stuff. It's such a very important topic and something that too many people are scared to talk about.
Yep.
And I will just tell you this, be scared and take a step anyways, because you don't want to regret and live in regret. And we're not in a safe world anymore. This isn't Knott's Berry Farm.
Yep.
This
And things are going to get worse.
Things are only going to get worse.
They're not going to get better.
And unfortunately, the climate. And I'm not a fearful guy. I'm a faith-based guy, but I'm also be smart about it. And men need to step up and.
Well, we're called to be warriors.
That's it.
Yeah, we're called to be protectors.
I got my warrior shirt on, man. What's the name of that Berna? What do you think of the Berna?
Oh, the Berna. So the Berna is good. There's always going to be an issue with non-lethal, right?
With what?
With non-lethal weapons.
Non-lethal weapons.
This is the issue, right?
So a Berna has it's a BB, not a BB.
It's like a plastic paintball looking thing.
Yeah.
You can get them with chemical stuff as well. Not in California, but they do have like their pepper balls as well.
Yeah.
It's a non-lethal weapon. It has a CO2 cartridge in the magazine. I think it only holds 5 balls in it, but you can reload mags.
Yeah.
It's everything non-lethal is going to be a defensive weapon that hopefully gives you time to run, right?
But here's what I'm going to say. My wife does maybe have the mentality I do, and you're not trying to wound somebody. You're shooting to kill if someone's in your house. So it's like, does my wife want that on her conscience?
Well, good point, and that's also a concern that people bring up. They're like, I don't know if I could take a life. I will say, if they're put in that situation, you'd be surprised of what people are capable of.
Yeah.
But also, it's another avenue where you really have to train specifically for it, because what's going to happen if she shoots somebody with 5 of these balls? They get up off the ground and then they still come forward, right? Having a non-lethal option, you need to train to where I use it and I need to get out of that situation as quickly as possible. Same thing with like stun guns, pepper spray. A lot of things can go wrong. What if they're wearing glasses, right? The spray has to get into their eyes to be effective. And what if they're wearing any type of eyewear?
Yeah.
What if they're wearing super heavy clothing and your taser or stun gun doesn't make proper contact? Hey, I have a baseball bat. Great. Are you hiding in the corner of your room with a baseball bat waiting for somebody with a firearm to come through? Or are you on the door ready to take action, right? Like,
all right. We just got to man up and pull the trigger.
When it's your life versus theirs.
Yeah. Well, did you hear about that girl just got kidnapped in Arkansas, and the dad had a tracker?
Yeah.
He tracked
him down.
And the guy was raping his daughter, and he ended up smoking him. And now he's just got released on bail. Now he's running for sheriff.
I saw that.
I mean, I'm just thinking to myself, if someone kidnapped my daughter, you think I'm going to call the sheriff?
Yeah.
Oh,
the things that we would do is, I think you'd be surprised in yourself as well. And for those people who really don't want to do harm to people, great. You shouldn't have that feeling anyway. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, are you going to roll over? And if you're the only line of defense for your kids and you're saying, I'm not going to take this life, well, what's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to your family? And then this person's going to walk free,
In the church, outside of the church, these are necessary conversations. So I appreciate you coming on today.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we're going to have, we might have to do a part 2 of this, but thank you. This is Perry Yee, and we will have all his details. Check him out if you're local to San Diego, but I'm sure for the right price, he's willing to fly. And you want to get experts to come help you fortify your house, fortify your life, and at least get you comfortable training. And I think as a man in America, every one of us need to be training. It's our obligation to be a protector and a provider. And if you don't own a gun or you are nervous about it, it's okay to be nervous, but it's not okay to abdicate responsibility because you are called to be a protector and a provider, and these are the things that we got to face. These are harsh realities in a harsh world. And let me tell you, it's not just people that are bad people. It is evil, and evil has no moral compass. That is the difference between good and evil. I know good people that are bad because of bad influence. They make bad choices, and they wake up and they do right things. That's different than evil. Evil is no moral compass. They will take your life without thinking about it twice. So, anyways,
And
lots
he
of
knows,
good conversations.
he knows his time is short, and like
Yep.
it's gonna get hot and heavy here.
Yes, it is. So, well, appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Hey, for all those that this was a little intense for, don't worry. We always got other episodes, but chill out. This is called reality. I want to bring reality to truth. So, God bless you. Thanks for watching this episode of the Maverick Entrepreneur. Get ready for another one real soon. See you then.